Sorry, y'all. I'm going live. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody on YouTube. Hey, everybody on TikTok. What's going on? What's going on? So we're going to talk about Christmas, the energy behind Christmas, the spirit, the expectations. I have to turn this down. The expectations. Sorry, I had to turn the volume down on YouTube. You know, one thing about Christmas, holidays, period. I'm not really a big holiday person. And all of this is really, really deep. I've got so much to talk about and so much to cover. Christmas has never been enjoyable for me. And I can't really tell you, this is a part of shadow work I know that I have to address, right? I know that Christmas music really does something to me. Like, I do not like Christmas music. Now, I'm going to get into something today that's happened to me twice this week that was strange. And it involved Christmas music. So I know it's a message behind it. But at any rate, one thing about Christmas, what's going on, everybody? And I'm live on YouTube just to let you know, you probably could even join YouTube via the link in my bio and the green button. But you get with family, right? And I have nothing against my family. I do want to make that clear. I have nothing against my family. I think that I'm just so different from everybody, you know, and people like me around because I become like the life of the party. And that's okay. You know, I guess I'm entertaining to a lot of people, and that's fine too. But for whatever reason, I like all my moves to kind of be purposeful. So, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So it's like, if I'm not feeling it, then I probably don't want to be there. But like, okay, this Christmas, my cousin hosted it. It's his house. He has a beautiful house, right? Because all my cousins, my male cousins, they get money. Two of them was, well, one was in the NFL, one played for U of M, and the other one did track. But they all have like their own businesses where they make really, really good money. So they live in extremely nice suburbs with huge homes, okay? I'm talking about the houses that you look at and be like, what is the damn light bill and the gas bill up here? Like those type of houses. And who's cleaning the house? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, me personally, and you don't want to look or think poor or anything. Well, me personally, I want to live. I have a nice house now, but we kind of like have grown out of the house, so we're ready to move out of the house. But even whatever house that I get following this, I intend for it to be built. I don't want to get a house that's going to be too much for me to clean, you know. But then at the same time, that might be jumping too over the edge, even with that, because whatever house that I have, I'm gonna also have the funds to keep it up. But I don't want to have a house that I'm yelling across and I hear echo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to make sense, is what I'm saying. Their house is beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I'm happy for them. I'm gonna have to start hanging out with my cousins. But the point is, growing up, we didn't hang with our family like that. Like, we seen each other on the holiday. So in between time, there is no relationship being developed. There's no relationship being nurtured. So it's like, to just get around people just for the sake of, I mean, I guess you can do that. I mean, I suggest in certain cases, you don't have to feel a type of way, just going through the motions out of respect, or just because of the sake of it, or it's healthy not to perpetuate certain dysfunctions. I get it. But also, you know, it's kind of difficult. But like I said, this year was cool because it was at my cousin's house. And I have some uncles that I love, right? They're precious, but I'm just saying, like, we don't call each other on the phone. We don't kick it. We don't, how are you doing? What's up? None of that. None of that occurs. Our kids don't really play together. So it's a different dynamic. And then all on both sides, my family are very, very religious, you know, and I'm just me. I'm just me. I'm not extra religious. And if you see me moving up and down with my gaze, it's because I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok. So I'm trying to get both eye contact. So I'm trying to multitask. Ooh, not this chair is all oily with the blue magic on the back. But anyway, So I cannot stand it. You know, everybody expects so much for Christmas. One thing about Christmas, it seemed to always bring out arguments, discontent. It turns out to be the complete opposite of what it should be. And that be my thing. It's like we spend all of this money. Really, the meaning behind the Christmas is kind of dark and twisted. It's not what they try to paint it as. And I think we need to stop celebrating these holidays anyway. That really just works for businesses and corporations, right? I mean, that's really what it is. It's beneficial to the people that it benefits. Meanwhile, the parents get headache. I mean, my kids had a very wonderful Christmas and it was still like, well, thank you, but can I have this also? You know what I'm saying? It was just like, dog, it's never enough. And so growing up, it just seemed like everything was a task around Christmas. Like I couldn't stand putting the Christmas tree up, and I never liked that. And like I told you, I don't know why I feel this way, right? I didn't like putting the Christmas tree up. We used to get real Christmas trees. I thought the Christmas tree would be very gaudy. I didn't like it. Then you had to keep water in it before, so it wouldn't burn down. And I appreciate the purpose of what my dad was trying to do. But it was just like, I don't know. It was always an argument that seemed to break out around holidays. And I think that's really what it was. It wasn't a peaceful time. It was just like grinding teeth. Different holidays. It would always be people falling out and just dumb stuff. And it was just a task. And it shouldn't be that way, right? Because gatherings with your family should be pleasant. But it would just be always some junk popping off. So it's crazy. My husband loves Christmas music, and it really reminds him of his father, who has passed away, rest his soul. He was gone before we even got together. So he's been gone a very long time, because I have been with my spouse since I met him on his mother's birthday. So that was December 23rd of 2006. It's been a long time, and we haven't stopped hanging since. And so, while he's got that music playing, I'm like grinding my teeth, right? But because of the sake of compromise, I can't ask you to turn off something that's sentimental to you and you feel a type of way because I'm over here like, So one day I'm laying in the bed and we have these Alexas. Now, I've always kind of been, since this shit came out, I was like, I don't want this shit in my home. I don't want these. I don't want the feds in my house, and I guess that's part of me I guess it's part of my culture too. We don't want nothing tracking us, clocking us, even though I know we said we got these cell phones and da. But I don't think it helps to have your whole house with surveillance. And this shit don't ever work in your benefit. Let some shit come amiss and ain't nothing working. It's not like it's helping you. And so I'm laying in the bed, and then the thing just automatically starts playing Christmas music. Now, I didn't ask it to do it. And I'm looking on my phone, and I'm just like, hold on, is this Christmas music? And I'm sitting there for a minute trying to figure out, why is this music playing? I just asked the thing to stop. So I was like, I'm going to come and talk to y'all about Christmas and my thoughts and feelings about it and see how y'all feel about Christmas and stuff like that. And I was putting some laundry away because I'm always doing something. I walk out the room to go grab something. I come back in my room. This just happened before I went live. There's Christmas music playing in my room. I'm like, at this point, there's a message behind it. Now, mind you, yes, I have used that AI filter that everybody's using on TikTok. I went all around my house, and there are spirits everywhere everywhere. Okay. I know that has a lot to do with me without getting into detail as of why, but it's everywhere and they're in my room. So right after that music was playing, I went on ahead and put the AI thing on. And what do you know? It was a woman standing right by my bed. So I'm like, okay, what is this message about? I think the whole thing of shadow work has been on me heavily. And I know it has a lot to do with the things that I'm doing and will be doing and stuff like that. So I know it's part of it. And I know this Christmas thing is something that I have to tackle. Right. And Spirit has just really been speaking to me heavily. Like y'all gonna think I'm nuts, but I really don't care, because I'm just sharing. There's a lot of stuff that people think nuts, so they don't share. And who knows? It could help somebody, but it be messages and everything. And I'm a dreamer. I'm always dreaming. I dream all the time. And I noticed like I've been thinking about, animals a lot. And specifically, it's been different messages about cats. And I'm like, you might think about a cat or whatever, it pops up, whatever. Keep it moving. But I had a dream, right? And it was a lot going on in that dream last night. But the part I really remember about this dream was the two cats that for whatever reason, now this is crazy as hell, right? Crazy than a motherfucker. The two cats was in the tote. And I had some things in the tote. And I opened the lid up and the two cats jump out the tote. And I was like, oh my God, that's right. I had these cats in the tote. I got to feed them. And I was obsessing and running around in the dream. Despite different things, the scenes were switching, different stuff was going on, but I needed to feed these cats. Then yesterday, before I even had the dream, my cousin was talking about, he had made mention about a cat. He was saying something. You know how you come on a tail end of somebody's conversation, like they be talking in the background. They could even be talking about you, but you be like, huh? Because so my cousin, he's precious. He's precious. He's 27, but I don't know what his affliction is. So I'm not going to sit up in here and just put anything on the young man, but he's precious. And he was saying something about a cat. And I guess he was talking to me. By the time I realized he was talking to me, the conversation was over. But it's just like all these messages about cats have been popping up. And I'm just like, what is it about these damn cats? And I had a cat. I had a cat. I've got 2 dogs now. But before I got my dogs, before I got the Border Collie and the Siberian Husky, my sister-in-law had a cat. And she went out, she got loose and got pregnant. She had a litter of cats and we took one. And so I had this cat about 5-6 years. The cat went to the streets. And you know what I'm saying? You can't be out here in these streets, okay? Because these streets will take you up out of here. And he wanted to keep being in the streets. One time he disappeared for like 6 months and came back. So I had to take him immediately to the vet because you can't wander around my house. I don't know where you've been. You've been out here straying in these streets with these tramps. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have to figure it out. So I put the cat in this little a soft like travel bag for animals or whatever. And I put him in the basement so he can't be around, And I took him to the vet, got him checked out and everything, and then brought him back home. We had him for a while and he ended up getting ill. Like not too long after I got my dog, Onyx passed away. He did. I'll never forget the last day I had him. He went out in the yard and he came back in. We had him that day. And I think a couple days later, he had passed away. I actually found him in our basement because his litter box was in the laundry room and stuff. Like he would eat and stuff in the laundry room. And he was in the box. Half of his body was in the box. I couldn't see his head because his head part was in the box, but the rest of his body was sticking out. And I had to call Byron. He was at work and I was frantic. And he came home and, had to get the cat. And we had to bury the cat. And the cat's buried in the backyard somewhere. I don't know because I wasn't there. I might have been home, but I wasn't paying attention to where he put the cat. So I know the cat is in the yard, but who knows? I have a couple of theories on this whole cat thing, but even just some of the messages that I've been picking up, just connecting with nature and my animals and stuff. It could be anything. It could be anything, but it's a lot going on. And man, just the holidays. Yesterday with my kids, my son was like upset about some things and really being spoiled, And then I almost got into it with my husband over the kids and this being spoiled. It was just like, this is why I don't like the fucking holidays, because it gets so complicated, and it really should just be about, you know, we really should be gathering and being happy. If we're going to do this thing, which is very ridiculous anyway, we should at least enjoy one another. It shouldn't always be a moment of contention around the holiday. And I hate to see it come, because my thing is like, why don't we get together any other time anyway? You know what I'm saying? It's just around the holiday. So we just doing stuff to do it. We're doing stuff out of habit or obligation. And why are we doing it? It's the energy. And at some point, I'm going to get behind why I don't. And I'm telling y'all, that Christmas music, it really does something to my spirit. Like, it really, it's like nails on a chalkboard. And so I know, because my Alexa's played that music without me asking it, I know it's a message behind that. Like, I know it's something that I have to deal with. It's something that I have to get to the root to. You know, spirit is drawing my attention to that, to address that. And part of it, I just need to let some things go, you know, but I get so conflicted around this time, because it's like, this is a pagan holiday. It's some evil, nefarious shit behind it. It's some lies behind it. And then somebody else, another woman that actually has a YouTube channel on here, that's the spiritual woman. She has a spiritual channel. She brought up a good point. We think that we're doing some justice behind honoring, which really is, they want you to believe it's a sacrifice. They want you to believe that Jesus came down and sacrificed himself for his sins. Now, whatever you believe, I'm not going to strong arm you or argue with you about your beliefs, baby. That ain't for me to do. You believe whatever you want to believe. But looking at this thing, there is no reason why the infinite intelligence of the creator, right, would need someone that they have named Jesus, that they have actually took a version of a story off of many versions before it, and have him come down, wrap himself, and kill himself or sacrifice himself for you. No, they murdered that man. They murdered the representation of Jesus. And for us to celebrate that, that's not cool. Like, would you celebrate the murder of any of y'all loved ones? Even the whole cannibalistic ritual that we do in church with the eating of the symbolism of the eating of the body and drinking of the blood. That's normal to people. Like, why don't we think about the stuff that we do? You know, we talk about witchcraft and voodoo, which is very ignorant, because we're ignorant about these practices, right? They're demonized. And of course, anything that is empowering has to be demonized. You know, right is wrong and wrong is right. And the God of the Bible is not even the creator God, but if you read the other Bible, if you read other texts, you would know that. But that's another conversation for another day. And I'm not about to be stirring the hornet's nest too much. But we really just got to think about this stuff, man. Like, if creator wanted you to be a certain way, if he didn't want you to so-called sin, he would have made you that way. Or it, I won't even say he. The infinite intelligence would have created, because it can create it any way it wanted it to be. You have free will, and free will is something that you have. This is an experience, and we have made things so complicated. And it just doesn't have to be. Everything is so complicated, man. Holidays are complicated. Relationships is complicated. And I think it has a lot to do with all the lies and confusions that's layered on top of it. You know, anytime you add confusion, there comes the complications. And it just doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Right now, let's pivot a little bit. We'll talk about relationships. That is the hottest topic on YouTube and in most platforms, is relationships. How the fuck do we not know how to relate and get along with one another? Why are we still debating about such rudimentary things? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't care how you put it, it doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be difficult to get along. It shouldn't. But we don't get along because we have all these preconceived notions and we constantly live in our egos and our selfish desires. And so that's where and we live in a state of delusion. And that's where the conflict come in. Just like Christmas, the conflict came in with my son because he felt that he should have this too, when in fact, he never even asked for it. Don't we do that in real life? Don't we get mad at things we don't get and we never opened our mouth up to get it in the first place? As if people are supposed to read our minds. We have this level of entitlement. And there's nothing wrong with feeling. See, the thing about entitlement and worthiness, that's okay. But we don't move. We have this entitlement but we don't feel worthy. We don't move in the state of entitlement. Because if we really felt entitled and worthy, we wouldn't work jobs. We wouldn't do a lot of shit we do. And we wouldn't sit up and go back and forth with people. You know, something was happening and a conversation was going on that I was included in. And then someone made a statement and then I started to rebuttal, but then I realized, for what? What the fuck am I rebuttaling for? Sometimes you don't always have to even say anything because who cares who's right? Right? Because, you know, this individual wants to be right. Let them be right if it's not harmful. Because all it's going to do is get in the back and forth. What I'm saying is sometimes we even get into it with people when we don't have to, because we want to stand on this hill of being right. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, if it's not benefiting, like, who cares? You know, we make everything so complicated. Last year, I seen a creator on TikTok talking about, last year is something I'm about to talk about on my account of a story. But this year, yesterday, I saw a creator talking about Christmas giving and their take on it. And, you know, people and shitty gift givers and all this. Again, I don't even understand why that, and she's entitled to that. I'm not knocking her per se, because that is her viewpoint and how she feels. But what I am saying is it's ridiculous we even have to have those conversations. People don't have to get you anything. And I feel that, and this is my opinion, and I'm not saying that you have to take it, but I feel that if the gift is not disrespectful, if it's not saying fuck you and your mama too, or your daddy too, whatever, why are we mad at gifts? Because people don't have to get you shit. You know, now, yes, a lot of people do give from their lens of life. So they give you what they think that what they like. You have those type of people. Then you have those people that'll give you gifts that might offend you, but at the end of the day, could you really use it? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, so my dad loves to talk, okay? He loves to talk. He's a Gemini. He likes to be the life of the party. That's him. Mr. Funny Man, okay? He probably was class clown when he went to school. I don't know, but maybe not, because my granddaddy probably would have whooped the shit out of him. I don't know. Anyhow, you know, he's got a lot to say, so he's always said to me, not peep game. He's always said to me, you know, hey, you know, these niggas out here, you know, they out here making this money. I say we get together and we make a video, me, you, the kids. You know, he's got all these ideas about these videos. He had created a YouTube channel, right? I go and get him. This is last year. I went and got him a mic. And I went and got him one of those cards, those, the thing that you plug into the computer so you can live stream. It allows you to do gaming and it allows you to live stream. I got him those things. Do you know he was offended? We got into it. I'm talking about we got into it, and I couldn't understand it. Then we was going back and forth about how he gets me gifts and we get, you know, and this and that. And I had to say, but you don't really know what I even like either. But the thing is I never complain about a gift. There's so many more things. People are dying for Christ's sakes. I know that's always the thing people go to, right? I know that's the thing that people, but it's fucking true. People are dying. I'm not going to get mad about a gift. Was he mad because he didn't know how to use the tech? Could have been, girl. Could have been that whole, it could have been a whole deflection, for real. But just ask. I would have helped you. Just ask. But you want to call and start an argument. What is this about? And you know, I'm quick with it. Let me tell you, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to be real 100. I am the type of female. I'm not for everybody. Like, my personality is not for everybody. It just is not. And I don't apologize for it, because I have people who like me, and I'm not going to offend you. I'm not going to do nothing to you. I'm never malicious. But if you bring it, I'm going to finish it. And that's just me. So depending on, and you know, and I've worked really hard not to let people pull me out of my space. But it's a thin line to not letting you pull me out of my space, and me not checking you on your shit and upholding my boundaries. It's a thin line, you know, because people be getting real motherfucking crazy, and you got to show them what time it is. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I took that motherfucking gift back and got my money back, and that was that, because I'm not gonna do this with you. I'm not, you know, it's always something. You get somebody something, you ain't put enough thought into it. You put some thought into it, then why did you get this? It's just always something. Girl, you probably right. Female, right. But listen, they will ask you for some dumb stuff. Oh, he'll ask me for some dumb stuff. It's crazy. Then all the stuff he had going on with his now ex-wife, I just figured at this point, honey, you might need to document it. I don't know. This might be helpful, because I don't know. And it's just why I don't like these holidays. I mean, because people will make you cuss them out, you know? I don't know. But he does tell people that. He says that, to your point, Sweet Paula Pie, to your point, Sweet Paula Pie, he tells people that I am the female version of him times 10. I just keep it real, okay? That's it. That's it. That's it, and that's all. That's it, and that's all. But also, too, growing up, I was the lean on person. I was the mediator, and I still am. My parents had a lot of dysfunction going on. And I was in the middle of that. I was grown before I needed to be grown. You know what I'm saying? It was like to a lot, I feel like I have parented my parents. And that's a lot for a person to carry. And then it's like, when I didn't want to deal with it, then it became, you don't care about nothing. You should care, this, that, and the third. I was forced to care about shit. So it's a lot of shit I don't care about, because I don't even want it. You know what I'm saying? And that's a result of the things that I've been through. And I always felt pressure to answer the phone, no matter what, no matter how much it would rip the battery out of my back, no matter what I was going to be pulled into. I felt obligated, you know, because it was like, you should answer the phone. I'm your parent, and I did this and I did that and that. So it got to the point now, you know, it comes a point after a while, especially getting married and living life a little bit, your outlook on life is different. You know, you begin to grow up, you begin to understand some things. So I get to a point, baby, I will just start going off, because I don't want it. I don't want to hear this shit. Like, why are you bringing this to me? There are people they're paid and they're trained to handle this. Now keep in mind, and I'm not saying this because I'm saying it. I'm saying this because of what other people have said to me. I even offer the service. If you need some direction, something cleared up, some advice, I can do that. Intuitively and naturally, I can do that. But my energy and my time is precious. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to take all the damn life out of me, and I have nothing for myself. And in so much of my life, I've dealt with stuff and done stuff for other people out of feeling like I had to, out of obligation, because of how I'm related or whatever the reason and case may be. And it's not beneficial because people will run you through the fucking ringer if you let them. You've got to have boundaries. Matter of fact, one of the cards I pulled today was basically letting me know, like, it was talking about two of the cards. So I know it was confirmation, basically saying you can't be compassionate with other people and you're not with yourself. You can't do for other people that you don't do for yourself. You got to have boundaries, you know. And I do so many things not wanting to do them and grinding my teeth along the way. And it's horrible because, you know, a lot of times, and I don't know if you can identify with this, but a lot of times I be feeling like, well, damn, maybe I should care because I really don't give a fuck. So let me just really do this. So that's the thing too, right? We do shit to seem like we're good people. And it's not that we don't know we're good people, but based on what other people view as good people. If you really cared about me, you would do this. If you really loved me, you would do this. I don't want to fucking do it. And then I've got to have a reason. It must be something wrong with me because I don't want to do it. Listen, if I want to watch paint dry on the wall, I should be entitled to do that. I don't owe you an explanation of why I don't want to do things. I don't know, y'all. Just, it's mind-blowing. It really is. But another thing, let's talk about money, right? I'm covering a lot of subjects. I couldn't even put it all in the title. So stay with me. I hop around. Like I said, I ain't for everybody. I keeps it moving. So a card came up. It came up twice this week on me, and it's speaking to money. Basically saying, like, what is my relationship with money? You know, a lot of times money is an energy, you know, and if you have a fear behind it, you're over controlling, you're holding on to fucking money like this. That's a good point, sweet Paula Pies. You're holding on to money like this, it could be actually detrimental for or counterproductive to what you're trying to do. I really do believe that your gifts will make room for you. I have a lot to offer the world, but I can't never do it going to somebody's job. So I've been laid off. I know if you watch me, you've heard me say that already. So I'm really glad things are coming to the end because I'm going to force myself to make things work this time. I have a voice, I have a story, and I know it's helpful. I know it's helpful because not only was this told to my dad as a child, but just looking at my life of different things, I know this is something that I must do. But it becomes difficult because you can't see the how, right? It's like, I don't want, me personally, I'm not speaking for nobody else's household, but I'm not into making my husband slave so I can sit home and be pretty princess. Like that's not me. And he's a hard worker. They said, boy, this man is Jamaican, you know, because he's he has his heating and cooling company. He works for Ford Motor Company, and he works on a military base. Okay. So he does all of that. And I'm good with that because I grew up with a father that was getting money. And men that do that, they're not home a lot, you know, and you got to be okay with that. Either you're going to have somebody up under your ass and y'all not have no money, or you going to have a man that's out there in them streets, or you could have him. I mean, there's people that do other things. They work for the, you know, the more eccentric type of, or what people will view as eccentric. There are men out here that don't work, and they, you know, they're spreading love and light, as you would call it, and they get paid too. I mean, but whatever it is, you're gonna be out getting that money for yourself, for somebody else, spirit or otherwise. You're gonna be busy. But it's that underlying fear of where the money is coming from, which is ridiculous because he got it, right? He really do have it. Like him going back to Ford replaces my income. But I don't like that burden. I don't want to be a burden, if that makes sense. I want to be an asset in all things. But it's counterproductive to what I'm called to do as well. And so anyway, I'm in the grocery store because, you know, these kids home. Let's talk about these kids, right? That they home. These kids of mine have off to the 9th. Okay, so that means they're going to be eating up shit left and right. So I'm at the grocery store. Now, listen, I was going to practice my insanity. I'm not a coupon clipper, so I kind of move around to find, you know, I know there's better deals. Like, okay, for instance, I might get my washing powder and dish soap and bleach and, you know, like cleaning products and well, I order my soap to wash my body with, but you know, toothpaste, stuff like that, I get from like Walmart or something like that. Then I'm gonna get like juice and other little knickknacks from Aldi. I'm gonna get shelf items from Kroger. Sometimes I don't. I might get everything I need from Aldi in that regard. And Meijer is another place that I utilize for like toiletries and stuff like that. But I kind of go around. So today my moves was gonna be Kroger, Walmart, Aldi. And I said, to hell with that. I'm going to Kroger and get what I need to get. I was gonna go to Foodland or the corner store. It was too much. So I'm talking to my husband in the grocery store, asking him, you know, what do you think about this of getting the kids that? Because I like to get the kids things that they like. I'm not necessarily the parent that just get a bunch of shit and be like, you're gonna eat this and like it. That ain't me. And that might not be cool. That might be messed up, but I just don't. I try to get what the kids are going to, what appeals to their palate. That's just me. And so we were talking about whatever, and he was just, we was talking about money, and he was like, I really love like how you try to save money, babe. But he was like, I don't know what's wrong with you. We are not poor. Like, you should not be worrying about money. He was like, I don't know when this happened to you. When we were dating, you just lived life, and it's like now you have this fear behind money. Now I'm telling you this because I done had 2 cars pop up like, what are your beliefs about money? Now here it is, my husband saying this, like you have this fear, and I don't know where it comes from. You don't go without, I got it, blah, 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 blah. And so my immediate reaction was like, well, you know, when we were dating, it was just me, you, and Jay. Then we had children, you know what I'm saying? We got a house, we got all this stuff, obligations, you know. And that's my answer I can give on the surface. But really, what is this shit about? What is this money block that I have? What is this underlying fear that I'm not going to be able to do something, whether that be eat or something's going to get cut off, or and I've never lived that. I have, in all of my years of living, this has never fucking happened. So what is this fear? What in the alfalfa is going on here? What is this fear about? So I know that's something that needs to be addressed. And as I'm telling y'all these things and opening up to y'all about these things, I hope they are helpful and that you're able to examine some things that you might not even peep about yourself. these beliefs and these fears that we hold on to. Your parents had money, but did you see them squander a lot of it? No. So let me tell you. So my dad used to always be the one to get me stuff. I would go with my mama to the store. Sorry. Okay. I hated going grocery shopping with my mother. I hate it. I think twofold why I don't take my kids shopping with me now. Two reasons. I don't want to be distracted and nobody try to this might be crazy to you, but this is something to somebody try to rob me or something, and then they use my kid, and then I'm vulnerable. You know, I like to move, and then I like to move in and out. They ask, can I get this? Can I get that? And then, you know, I didn't took them kids when they was little. They was taking shit, and then when you get to the car, you notice they done stole something out the motherfucking store and all that. I think I'll be, you know, and they bigger now, so that ain't even an excuse. You know what I'm saying? They're 11 and 12, my youngest. But it was just a lot. Like my mom would get so much shit. Well, we would be in Farmer Jack for 2.5 hours. What? Who the fuck grocery shops for 2.5 hours? Let me tell y'all something. We went to Meijer one time. Shanana. We goes to Meijer. And she had a basket high. Now, you know times has changed, okay? Peep game. She had a basket full of shit. The price came up to over $200. Now, I don't know how old I was, but I remember this. So she get to the counter. My mom would write a check. That's how she paid for her groceries. She wrote a check. So Meijer hit, and I don't know if it's because we were over there on 14 and Coolidge Highway, which is very close to Maple and Coolidge. Which what would that area be? It's a high-end area, kind of. It's close to a higher end. So they hit my mom with, you're gonna have to, we need your fingerprint to write this check, because this is over $200 worth of stuff. Oh, she said, no, my fingerprint, what you need? Now, my mom is a little paranoid. Both my parents are. They crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them, baby. I'm ate the fuck up too. I gotta be, because I'm from them, you know, but it all works together for who I am and me be able to relate to people and stuff like that. But that don't mean I don't have work to do, okay? She said, my fingerprint, what you need my fingerprint? Nobody's ever asked me for my fingerprint. Well, I'm not giving you my fingerprint. She's doing all this or whatever. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Mom, just give me the fucking fingerprint so we can get out of here. I want to get the fuck out of here. We've been in here for hours and you're arguing about a fingerprint. Like, what are we gonna do? You're not selling dope. You know what I'm saying? You don't go nowhere. You have nothing going on. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So they harvest this information for what? You're not the second coming of Christ, Mom. Like, they're not going to come in and you're not going to be abducted by aliens. Give them the fucking fingerprint so we can get the fuck out of here. No, she wouldn't give him that fingerprint. Let me tell y'all what she did. She said, I'm leaving the whole basket. Did you know? Did you know how over it I was? Baby, you done had me out this house for hours. And you leaving this whole basket here over a fingerprint? Oh, what you think they could be doing? I was over it. My mom used to have, so I say that to say, my mom, we had a refrigerator and freezer. You know, you got the long side. Like now, like the one I got is one door here, one door there, and then you got the pull out at the bottom. And this one is old. I got to get rid of this one. We didn't have the Samsung refrigerator. It's ghetto as fuck. We got to get another one. We got to make it a priority, you know, but it hasn't been. It's working. You know, if it's still running, shit, we got to wait till that boy is on his last leg. I'm talking about it, the power out. Then we go get another one. We had the ones growing up where it was just the two long doors. And then next to that, my mom had it was a big just freezer, right? Like refrigerator style, but it was just a freezer. It wasn't a deep freezer. Your mom became paranoid when Ted came around? Okay. Yeah, and I guess I could see it now, you know, just like I said, you know, like, oh, I got another story about my dad and his ex-wife in this. We'll get to that about technology. So she had all this shit, right? Now, my mom used to, I don't know where y'all from or where y'all watching me from, but we used to always go out to dinner on Sundays. And one of the places we would go to is Baker Square. I don't know if y'all know anything about Baker Square. Shout out to my people that know what I'm talking about. But Baker Square, they would have pies and they would have the it would be a metal thing, a metal pie holder that you could take home and keep. You just had to watch the boy. She would keep all of them. She would keep all the Cool Whip containers. We didn't have regular Tupperware. Our shit was ghetto. We didn't have to live like this. I'm just telling you what. And I got some of this ignorance too, to the point where my husband would be like, throw this shit out. What is this about? You know, in his way of saying it. That's just my way of illustrating how he be feeling. I recently had to get rid of a lot of shit because I realized I was being insane. Like, you know, all these plastic Chinese food containers is fucking ridiculous. Why are they here? Get rid of it. So she would keep all these containers and she would wrap a lot of food up that she would get from the grocery store and put it in that freezer thingamajig. So they sat right next to each other. Our kitchen was fabulous. Like, unlike my home, I have a beautiful home, but the storage is trash. And that's why we had to get the fuck out of here because there's nowhere to put shit and everything is out. So it looks crazy, right? But our house was fabulous in a way that it had storage like it needed to. So everything had a place for everything. Even if you were a kleptomaniac, no one would know because of the way the storage was. My dad comes home. He's pissed the fuck off. He was always pissed off, right? And that's how they portray the black man on a lot of them old shows back in the day. He was always fucking pissed off when he came home. And so he's snatching over the freezer. He's yelling about something. He's throwing shit. You keep buying all this stuff. You got so much stuff in here. You don't even know. I don't even know what it is. I can't even look at this. I can't even see it. It's crazy. He's throwing shit. It was so fucking crazy, right? And it's like crazy, but you laugh at it. And it, Jesus Christ. What is this? Look at this. What is it? You don't even know what it is. You don't mark it or nothing. It's freezer burn. We can't even eat it. We're going to kill us. And, you know, he's... Baby. We never went without so much that was going on. Okay. And even me, I buy 2 and 3s of shit. I have to be talking my shit like, you know, you really don't need 3 boxes of OxyClean at one time. Like, you don't need this shit. I had a girlfriend that I met in college. And she was going through a lot of shit. And she had a daughter. So I talked to my husband to let her come stay with us. And after she left out of our house, probably 4 years later, do I write poetry? I used to. My dad used to love the poems and the letters and stuff I used to write to him. I have some poems now. I don't know if I put them on my website, but I write. I have blogs and stuff on my website. Yes, I am a writer in general. When she left my house, now she's married, right? And she drives her husband crazy with this shit. It's like, we've got to get 10 bleaches. We've got to get more bleach. It's like, you know, you've already got eight containers of bleach in the basement. Well, why do you need more bleach? You know, she picked this crazy shit up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, we got to be stocked up, you know, and it's stuff that you just pick up from your people, man. Like one time I remember my dad was talking like it was DEFCON 5 coming. And he was like, you know, we're going to, you know, if anything ever happened, we're going to meet over here. Y'all need to start stocking up on cans. Y'all need to start stacking up on water. Y'all need, you know, and all of this shit. And my nerves got so fucking bad, dog. Like I went to KFC and bought a fucking bucket of chicken because my nerves were so bad. Now, who the fuck is going to eat a bucket of chicken? Not me. Not my young self, not me alone. I went and got the fucking bucket of chicken and I bought the fucking bucket of chicken home and I'm looking at this chicken. I can't eat all this shit. So, you know, I started letting other people eat it, but it's just like my nerves were so bad because he's talking about all this fear and it's just like, what is this about? Why, What is this about? Like, and that's the thing. So this is why a lot of times, y'all, when I come home, I've learned to put my phone up and walk away from it, because I have been nightmare to death. And, people will have you, they will put that nervous energy on you. Nervous energy is transferable, and that shit come through the phone, and it, bop, bop, it hits you upside your head and you're ate the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you're eating a bucket of chicken, and it's just like, for what? Now I've gained 5 pounds over some shit I didn't even have to deal with, because I've answered your phone call and entertained your foolishness. I'm not doing it. I've gotten a lot better, even still, talking to people and not letting them get to me like that. But it takes time. It takes time, boy. It takes time to really realize how crazy this shit is and what you're doing and allowing in your space. And back to why I was explaining about the food and stuff like that. She was saying, well, did you see your people squander money? I remember my parents got in an argument one night. And my dad was going off about, I let you have free range to the money. And I'm going through this, and I'm seeing you writing $900 checks here and $800 checks there. And where is it, and to who? Who are you giving this money to? Now, that's all I remember. I don't know if they ever fired up the mystery machine and got to the bottom of who the fuck she was giving the money to. I don't know. That I don't know. But it was a whole blowout argument about how she was writing these checks and he was unaware of, money. He was like, and I make so much money, I don't notice it. But when he looked at it, he had a problem with it. So he took away her ability to just do that. He closed her credit cards and a lot of stuff. He took away a lot of stuff because he didn't know, and again, I'm speaking on the stuff I remember. I'm not saying nothing against my mom. I'm not saying nothing against my dad. I'm just telling you some of the shit I heard, because I can't tell you what I really know in those regards, because I didn't sit in either of those seats. And I don't think we should ever really get in the middle of, unless you really see your parents going like fist fighting and shit like that to you, unless you see something that without a shadow of a doubt is wrong, I think it's best that you stay out of it, because you got to realize that your parents' relationship is separate from their relationship with you. Now, understand that all the relationships in this dynamic is dysfunctional. It is. It's dysfunctional all the way around. And that's just my experience. But, I love my parents. They are who they are. They made me. And so, they had their own life to live, their own battles, their own lessons to learn. They had their own evolvement to do. That's them. That's their story. And I'm not going to hold it against them. I'm not. Just now, though, that craziness, I don't want no parts of it, though. I'm not going to deal with craziness now, but I don't hold. No, I'm not the child that says, well, remember this and what was me, and no, that ain't me, because it's counterproductive. It's irrelevant. But there are some things that come up that is meant to be healed, that I have to address, And so that's going to take time. But as I help other people, as people come to me for counsel and ask me for help and insight and ask me to use the gifts that God has given me, I also have to be working on myself to grow too. Because in as much as we have intuition and our own spiritual gifts, there's still a part of development and living life that plays into that as well. We have heard a lot about, well, I know there's a lot of babies that have incarnated here and they have a lot of wisdom from the other side, but it's still from a child's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to help people, you must sit in many seats to be able to understand them, because you can't speak and not know shit. It doesn't work. So I have to examine myself constantly as I help the collective, as I use my healing abilities, as I do my part on this planet. But part of that, the easy part of that is really just sharing my story with y'all. And I tried to stay to one topic and I got all over the place. I hope it was helpful. But if not, I will say this. I have fun doing it. I have fun telling stories. But it was something else I was going to say to y'all too. I said I would get to that. What was it? What was it? Does anybody remember? It was a story that I wanted to tell y'all. What was the story I wanted to tell y'all? Hold on, y'all. I'm about to end this on YouTube. Thank you, everybody who watched my YouTube stream. Please subscribe and share with your friends. And I'm going to do more of these. I'm going to continue my conversation on TikTok. Love you.